Hey, welcome back to the Hotel Orloff. It's February 4th, 2024, in the year of our Lord. And we're once again brought to you by Fang, a breakfast drink for vampires. Not feeling too good today, got a kind of a cough, and I'm extremely tired. But February makes me shiver, with every paper I deliver. Bad news on the doorstep. I couldn't take one more step. Let's go look at the doorstep and see if there's any bad news out there. 65 years ago, yesterday, about 1 in the morning, Buddy Holly's plane went down about 2 hours north of here, maybe not even that far. I want to go see the surf ballroom. Anyway, Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, the Big Bopper, Waylon Jennings just barely missed. He flipped a coin with Richie Valens to see who would go on the plane, and Richie Valens won. And he said, "Boy, I hope your plane crashes." We felt really bad about that afterwards. Anyway, yeah, it could be really darn cold here in Virginia in February. Let's look at the doorstep here. There's no bad news here. Still a little bit of snow. It's kind of a cold wind today, but it's sunny and most of the snow is melted. So, I'm a real music lover, and the Buddy Holly thing hits me pretty close to home. Always loved his music. Sorry I'm not as dynamic as normal. I'm just not feeling too good. But I'll tell you something, man. What is something else is as I'm scrolling around on the internet, I see a lot of things about Taylor Swift and how she's being persecuted, and she's just this innocent icon that's a good influence for young girls I've been completely unaware of her music for however many decades she's been on the scene. I don't know anything about her. I know she exists. She's to me, a very plain looking. I guess, I think, well, you're crazy, Gratu. She's beautiful. To me, she's not. I felt the same way back in 1980 when everyone was gaga over Bo Derek. And I looked at her and I said, well, she's nothing. She's got dead eyes. Do you know what that means? When I say someone has dead eyes, it means they're boring looking. It's like looking at a cow. There's no life in the eyes. There's no twinkle, no sparkle. It's just, and so I was never a big fan of Bo Derek and Taylor Swift's music. I listened to a few songs with my wife to see what the music's like, because that's all you hear about in the media now. She's apparently a billionaire. She's won like 40 Grammy Awards. And it's terrible music. She really is. It's nothing, man. The music of the 70s, everyone made fun of it. I'd far rather listen to Afternoon Delight by the Starland Vocal Band, or the Captain and Tennille, or Donnie and Marie. All of that is her music. You can't remember it after you hear it. It's just, anyway, the whole big deal is she's got a boyfriend playing for the Kansas City Chiefs that's apparently a spokesperson for a pharmaceutical company. And there's this picture. The only thing I know about him, because I don't follow football, is there's this picture of him where he's got two Band-Aids where he's had his little thing happened that you can't mention on YouTube, and he's got this smile on his face, and he looks like the biggest a-hole. He looks like everyone I hated in high school. And so maybe he's just a wonderful guy, and maybe she's wonderful, but I never like I never like. Well, I don't like musicians that are tell you who to vote for, and never really like that. And anyway, so the big deal is that this Taylor Swift is a big Biden supporter, and so people are thinking she's gonna, you know. Well, who knows what's going to happen? Well, we'll see next week. And won't that just be, they say, that it's making tons of money for the NFL because apparently women are just now as excited about watching football as the guys are because they can see Taylor Swift come and hug her boyfriend. My dog, Drew, is chasing Alan the cat around. Drew, I'm glad you're feeling better. She's been puking everywhere, man. And our other sponsor, ladies and gentlemen, is Liquid Death. Anyway, we don't want to talk about Taylor Swift. She's terrible. But, you know, the song that I was quoting, "The Day the Music Died," is certainly apt when you realize the state of modern music, man. It's just terrible today. How did it, there's, you know, there's good music coming out. I discovered this artist about maybe a year ago named Sir Chloe. She's not a good influence for girls either. I mean, she's kind of this gender bending, but she's got great music. Yeah, it's weird. Taylor Swift, all her songs are apparently about how she's chosen the wrong guy and she's angry about it, and so then what does that tell you about her choice for president? Anyway, so fantastic. Let's go look at let me get my phone charger. We'll go look at some comics, I guess. I've got my wife called up Kevin Johnson, the owner and proprietor of Gotham City Comics, the other night and placed an order for $100 of stuff from my hold pile as a Valentine present. And then Jeff, who watches the show and also is a regular customer of Gotham City Comics, had put $40 down as like a gift to me there in the store, and he left an issue of Vampirella that I didn't have. So it's like, wow, I mean, it's really an honor, and it's so wonderful that I create enough, if I'm creating fun for you, and enough that you think it's actually worth, financially rewarding me, that's fantastic. But my goal in starting this channel was to, when I first started the channel, it was right as the pandemic started and everyone was trapped at home, and I thought, I'll do something where people can have fun. I want to entertain people. So anyway, look at this picture on the newspaper. You see that? An Amish horse and buggy in that snowstorm that happened the other week here locally. I think that's a cool picture. If I gave Pulitzer prizes, for photography or whatever, I'd give one for that photograph. I think that's cool. So they're going to, in addition to Taylor Swift hugging her boyfriend when they win the Super Bowl next Sunday, because I'm sure that they will make sure that the Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl to support Biden's re-election campaign, but they think he's going to be replaced by Michelle Obama or Michelle Obama pretty soon. So it just, I see all these people that are just sheep and they just accept, yeah, she's a great artist. She's got a great voice. How is that great music? I would much rather listen to this 1950s roller rink music. Oh, by the way, the guy performing the organ right here, these are actual records that were meant to be played in roller rinks in the 50s. The records you're hearing. But if you watch the Buddy Holly story, the movie from, 1978, at the beginning you'll actually see this guy performing the organ, and of course then Buddy Holly's band starts performing, and then the kids all go crazy because they're hearing rock and roll in the roller rink. Okay, I got to organize this room, so let's do it, man. What is this box? Oh, I got this box out the other yesterday because Charlton 66 contacted me and said, "Do you have all the Thongors from Creatures on the Loose?" And I thought, I think I do. So I thought I better check, because that sounded like maybe he's found a stash of them in his store or something. And so I looked here in this box. I pulled it down to see. This is a box where I keep a lot of this Bronze Age Marvel horror. Is there enough light? Like you could really respond to me. All right. I think there's enough light. It's right about noon here. I've got 2 copies of that issue of Beware, but I don't sell books. There's a Missing Mars. Every time I show a duplicate, it's like, oh yeah, I'll send you some money, and I just don't. I can't do that, man. I'm not psychologically wired that way. I mean, I've sold paintings when we were starving that I commissioned for people, and I don't know. It's hard to sell things when you're insane, Ooh, this one's been through a fire. That's not good. That's when you Beware number 4. Anyway, well, you didn't come here to see Beware. We're looking for Creatures on the Loose. Where is that? You're probably wondering, what am I talking about? I'm trying to remember. I have Creatures on the Loose number 10, which has King Cole, but I'm trying to remember, because why don't I have Creatures on the Loose 1 through 9? And I'm thinking it had a different title, but I'll have to look that up. I could be completely wrong. That's 10. And then 14 is not in very good condition. But by this point, see, well, I was going to say these are all reprints. Well, that's definitely a reprint. Yeah, this is a reprint. Yeah. I gotta bring the underground comics in here too. Man. Yeah, I don't know. I've been feeling really bad lately. Oh, now Tammy Wynette, far better than Taylor Swift. I mean, she's really nothing. How is she a billionaire, man? Did she sell her soul to Satan? A lot of people are thinking that. Some people are saying that she's actually the daughter or a clone of Zena LaVey, the daughter of Anton LaVey, because they do look a lot alike, but actually Zena LaVey looked better. That's Arnold Schwarzenegger there, before he was famous. I put 2 full inches on my arms, 3 inches on my chest, and trimmed 4 inches on my waist in just 7 weeks. Thanks to the Joe Wider muscle building course. Yes, indeed. How about that? Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is probably the very first 20-cent issue because of the way it's written there. That's my suspicion. From the late Nixon age of comics. Some people call the Bronze Age, but we know it's as the Nixon age of comics here. There's 11. Moomba is here. What? These are out of order. What? How dare you? 11, 12. I was captured by Corilla DeVille. Let's see. That's, yeah, these are out of order. 10. Okay, I've got 2 issues with Moomba. 2 copies of Moomba. 11. Yeah, I've had this cough, man. It's bad, and it's probably the beginnings of pneumonia or something. Anyway, so this box of comics or whatever my wife ordered me, I put down some things that I wanted, that I knew I wanted from my whole pile. I said, make sure you get, I wrote, and she wrote down a few things, but then I think she got a bunch of surprises. So that should be arriving. It says it'll get here on the 7th, which is Wednesday, which means I'll have something to actually show on 4-Color Fossils on Wednesday night. But I think it'll be here before the 7th, because it usually, although, is tomorrow a holiday? When is Martin Luther King's birthday? I think is that the next Monday? I don't know. Here's number 16 of Creatures on the Loose. Do I have another bag and board? No. It feels stiff. So that tells me, look there, it's a Mark Jewelers insert. Isn't that exciting, ladies and gentlemen? It's ones that have the Mark Jewelers insert are more valuable to some people. Look at that. You can see right up his nose. Look at that wonderful Gil Kane art. Look at this. Mighty Marvel moves ahead. Yeah, it's actually not a Mark Jewelers. It's a National Diamond Sales. So anyway, what happened is that I've told you this before, but you don't listen. Comics that were sold on Army or military bases at the PXs, whatever, would sometimes have this insert put in the center, just an extra centerfold put in. And a lot of times it was Mark Jewelers. This one is National Diamond Sales, and they also have this lingerie ad, which is kind of weird in a comic aimed at kids. And but these were being, they knew that these would be bought by GIs stationed in Japan or Germany or somewhere, South Korea, away from their girlfriend, and they could. And then it's when you get out of the service. When you're out of the service, then what? You can become a deputy, a special officer, a police officer. So, anyway, this is reprints, but this is an original story at the front of the book, which is Gulliver Jones, Warrior of Mars. Now, Gulliver Jones, the first John Carter book from Edgar Rice Burroughs, John Carter, Warlord of Mars, was it was the first story of Princess of Mars, which was originally called Under the Moons of Mars, was serialized in All Story magazine in 1912. Then it was all put together in a hardcover book in 1917, I believe. Gulliver Jones this character, Gulliver Jones, pre-existed before 1912, but I think Roy Thomas altered the story a little bit to make it a little more like John Carter, which he, was what he really wanted to do. See, Gil Kane, I think, is a wonderful artist, but it is true. He loves these shots up people's noses. And I don't think he was a short guy. You figure, well, if he's short, maybe that's what he's used to seeing is just up people's noses. But anyway, this is a great book. I remember being a little kid and someone was telling me how cool these Gulliver Jones books were, and I should have put. I'm gonna have to order some bags and boards. It's just getting down to. I'm just gonna have to do it, man. Here's issue 17. Ooh, I could upgrade 18. Sure could. This one, interesting. It has a hole punched up there at the top, but no other holes punched. Okay. 19. That one's in a bag and board. Ooh, I don't have 20. Okay, I need 20. Where's the box? The box lid. That's marble Bronze Age horror. I'm starting to do this thing where I'm going to write on the top of the box, so I don't have to go through it. Creatures on the loose. And then later I can look and try to find a copy of because I thought I had all of these, but I don't have 20, so I need 20. 21 is a spectacular cover. Jim Steranko. I mean, that's, to me, that's one of the greatest comic covers of the 1970s. That's 21. Okay, that was the last of the Gulliver Jones. This is what Charlton 66 was talking about. Thongor, warrior of lost Lemuria. New, from the house of ideas that gave you Conan and Kull. First time in comic book form. And again, that is a Steranko cover. And it's number 22. Valmeric artist inside. I was going, yeah, because there's like some brown stain there. So, I mean, I guess I could upgrade this. Yeah, there's a little problem with the staple there. Oh, I don't need to upgrade it. There's another copy here. Probably because this cover is so spectacular. Every time I've seen it in my life, I bought it. Which is apparently 2 times, or actually 3 times. I have 3 copies of issue 22. And I'm not selling them because it's just my thing. I don't sell things, man. 23, not bagged and boarded. I need to do that. Okay. 24. I meant to do a show yesterday. I wasn't feeling well enough. My wife wasn't doing well. The dog was puking. Everybody was feeling kind of bad. And 25. Did I miss one? Oh no, 24, 25. Here's another 25. I mean, you can tell that Conan the Barbarian was selling well for Marvel because DC was trying to imitate it and Marvel was trying to rebottle that lightning. Is that the right cliche? I think it is. They're trying to get other characters that... And I don't know why it didn't succeed, why Thongor didn't last longer. Here's 26. And then when Atlas Seaboard started, they tried to do their own barbarians with Wolf the Barbarian and Iron Jaw, and DC had Claw, and few other guys. You know, they had a Hercules comic. Of course, anyone can do a Hercules comic. Everyone's done a Hercules comic. Marvel, DC, Charlton, because Hercules is not, you can't copyright something like that. Here's another copy of 27. Oh, okay, so this is the one I'm missing. 28 is what I'm missing, because here's 29. And then I've got other copies of 29. Here's another, yeah. I've got 2 copies of 29. And, there's a Lone Star Comics little stamp down there. You see that? So this must have been in their quarter bin. Okay, so I need 28. So I'll write 28 here on this. That reminds me of the Laurel and Hardy Little Rascal R-Gang music. Okay, 29, 29. And then 30, they gave up on the Barbarians and gave Manwolf. His monsters were really big in the early 70s. And this is a spinoff from Spider-Man. This is J. Jonah Jameson's son, the astronaut, 30. And then, anyway, the only reason I'm going through this box is because it was out, because I got a communication from Charlton 66. He's always looking out for his friends. He says, hey, are you missing, you know, I don't know, or I may be just assuming. He may have just been wondering if I was aware of those books. Okay, so, Bronze Age. Okay. What is this here? Gold Key Comics, box 2. Shit. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse. Oh. Oh, this is not Gold Key. This is I put it Gold Key on this side, and this side DC Horror and Humor. What a mistake. Okay. 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 Some of these short boxes are like really shorter than others. I don't know why that is. There's a picture of my wife and me at the, what do you call that place? The old Spaghetti Warehouse. That is a restaurant. Boy, I look like I'm a lot older than when this picture was taken. They would come around and take a picture of you while you sat there in the booth, and then later on they'd come and say, "Would you like a copy of the picture?" Oh shit! I didn't put the creatures on the loose back in the box. Oh, oh, luckily it's still on the top. Oh, what a pain in the butt. There's a lot of views. This channel's getting like 1,400% more views lately, and the subscribers have gone up. Well, what's going on is it's like it used to be most of the people that watched were subscribed to the channel, and now it's only about 60%, or was it less than that are subscribed that watch the show. Is what I get on the statistics from the YouTube they give you statistics on your channel, and I'm thinking, and apparently people are tuning in 12. Oh, I actually need 13 and 15 also. My creatures on the list. I think people are being recommended to this channel by YouTube. I think it's like, when you watch a video, they give you a suggestion of what you want to watch next, and I never thought YouTube would ever do that because of things like this Trump sign in the background and stuff, and obviously, not liking Taylor Swift, I would figure that I would be unacceptable, thought criminal. But apparently, people are somehow tuning in. New people are tuning in. If you're getting recommendations for this channel and you like the channel, but if you got recommendations somehow, if you could tell me how YouTube is promoting this channel, because I'm kind of interested in that, Okay. Have any of you watched this Archie, this movie, The Archies, on Netflix? It's a Bollywood movie from India. Sounds interesting. I'm looking at my notes here. I've written down Betty Tokar Jankovic, which is Betty of Betty and Veronica's real name. There was a real Betty that worked in the cafeteria. I get the impression the cafeteria line of the cafeteria where the guys at MLJ magazines would dine in 1940 or whatever. And Bob Montana, the original Archie artist, and Harry Lucy, another Archie artist, I think met Betty and her sister, and they went out, and Bob Montana remembered this girl fondly, that he married someone else, and so did she, but he remembered her and immortalized her as Betty in the Archie comics. And there's apparently a movie that's out, a documentary that's out about this lady. So I'd like to see that. This is Bob Montana's art. I was showing these the other night. I don't have any other symptoms. I just have some, phlegm, and then I just have this urge to cough it up. It's so wonderful. There's Betty. Anyway, this is these Archie comics. I've got some that are from the Eisenhower age of comics, and also known as the Golden Age, I guess. And from the Silver Age, which is the Kennedy Age, and the LBJ Age, and the Nixon Age. I'm having to put them in this magazine box because they just don't fit in a regular comic box. Okay. Oh, shit. Okay, let's go in the other room. I gotta get a box of underground. I pulled out a box of underground comics. The show on what did I? Oh, it was on the Halloween stream of. I guess I don't know if it was Horror Mike's Halloween show or Captain Strangelife's, but they were both on there. I think it was Captain Strangelife, and Horror Mike was running it. But anyway, I was sitting for that show. I was sitting right here, and I had these underground comics I was showing, and now I got to get them back in the closet. Where's the lid? Interesting. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, when you go on these live streams, and sometimes you don't put things back, and then let's see. So that's over 3 months these books have been in the wrong place. Of course, you can thank Underground Comics for the direct distribution method of how comics are distributed now, instead of being available at your local 7-Eleven or drugstore, as they were since the inception of comics. Starting in the late 70s, comics started to be directly distributed, and that was following the model of how underground comics were distributed to head shops, and then to the beginning comic stores that were run by young people that were kind of hippies, basically. Okay, so whatever. Underground comics are a dicey lot. I got a whole long box or two of underground comics, but a lot of them you can't show on a family-friendly channel like this. No, you cannot. This is American Flyer. Underground comics are a fascinating thing. I mean, some were reprinted many times, and the Overstreet Price Guide made a decision to not include underground comics in their price guide, and yet they'll be very specific and let you know whenever there's a comic that has an injury to an eye, or whatever kind of dark thing that was pointed out in Seduction of the Innocent. Okay, I gotta blow my nose. I'm not gonna take you long for that. this room's already getting better as far as being more more room to actually walk in it and stuff like that. Okay. Let's see what's in this box that might entertain you. Here's artistic comics. Oh, sometimes the back covers will get you. Hopefully I didn't show that back cover. This book's not technically an underground comic. I have it in this box simply because it's I think you call books like this ground level books. I mean, it's obviously more extreme than what you would get from Marvel or DC. I don't even know what this book is, to be honest with you. Look, they have a fake Golden Age story in the back. It looks like it's just an attempt to do a super kind of violent comic, superhero comic. Doesn't look too bad. It's from Gauntlet Comics. Here's Bicentennial Grossouts. Yeah. What else can I show you? Well, not many books in here that are viewable. You know, I was just wondering about the Wally Wood comic Heroes Incorporated, and I have that. I was wondering, someone showed it somewhere. I was wondering, where is that? I bet I put it in here in the undergrounds, because it wasn't really underground. It was sold at PX's, but it was meant for an adult audience. This is, I don't know why I have this in here. It's a reprint of a Mad imitation from the early 50s. But it's reprinted without color. There's a lot of these reprints done in the 90s. There's a Herbie ad. Reprints of... it's very much made to look like Harvey Kurtzman's Mad. I've got my 8-ball comics in here. This is very much underground comic. Feds and Heads. And you can tell this is a very early printing. I mean, you can tell it was in a den of hippies. It's a Wonder Warthog story. Okay. Of course, there's the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. Underground comics are a lot of fun. Okay, Heroes Incorporated. Here's Gory Stories Quarterly. I'm gradually getting up to the H's. Look at this. They had Bruce Banner before and after. And there's obviously Superman. And you can too by reading Gory Stories, the Journal of Bad Taste. There's Hate. Hate is a fantastic comic. So is 8-ball. I have my Hate and 8-ball comics in the underground box. Oh, here it is. Yes, I do indeed have Heroes Incorporated. This fantastic cover. It's here in the undergrounds. This is a spectacular Richard Corbin cover. What covers would be interesting? Oh, this is Mickey Mouse Meets the Air Pirates. This is Nick's Kids, Adults Only. And there was a big lawsuit, Disney sued over this. You can kind of see why if you look at what he's smuggling there. Yeah, there was a big lawsuit. Instead of Dell, it's Hell. You can be sure it's disapproved. Teachers hate it, kids love it. Oh, let's see. Now, the thing with this is the characters are called, it's Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. They're called that. Now, Mickey Mouse is the very earliest incarnation of Mickey Mouse is in public domain as of last month because of Steamboat Willie being 100 years old, I believe. That's the deal, yeah. 20, yeah. No, maybe she's 90 years old. I don't know. Anyway, the rules of copyright have changed a certain degree. Now, you could always get away with something like this, Mickey Rat, to a certain degree. Like in Mad Magazine and stuff, you change the name to Mickey Rodent or whatever. You can get away with it. There was a lawsuit over Howard the Duck at Marvel. Disney sued because he looked too much like Donald Duck, so they wound up putting pants on him. Because Donald Duck always walks around without pants on. And but now the rule is that the names, like there are not appropriate films that are out there in certain stores that say Superman, X-Men, Spider-Man. They don't change the name. They don't change it to Super Duper Man. And they're inappropriate films that we won't discuss, but they use the names. They use the suits. They look exactly like they do in the comics, except they do some things that aren't in the comics. But apparently what's really still, as far as copyright, the rule is if a reasonable person could tell that that's not the actual product that's coming out from, Marvel, that's not a real Spider-Man movie because of the store you're buying it in. As if you look around at all the other tapes and discs, it's clearly not a store that sells regular movies. If no reasonable person would really think that's the real thing, you can get away with it. But what's copyrightable, I guess, and I don't know, you tell me in the comments down below, is the symbols, trademarks. So like Superman's shield on his chest in those particular films has an X instead of an S, and Spider-Man has a little X, but other than that, his suit actually looks more like Spider-Man's suit than it does in the real movies. Some of these, anyway, enough about that. So there's Mr. Natural. This is more from the 80s when Underground Comics kind of became more, 80s looking. I was like Nard and Pat. I mean, the underground artists made the art look like stuff from the 30s and 40s. They made the art look like Golden Age comics, but then with an infusion of all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's just... this is a promotional flyer. I wonder if this has any value for New Age comics. Coming from Vortex Comics. So, I would pick up... Ooh. This could have some value to those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle people. This is just something you got free at the counter in the comic stores. So it's just promoting upcoming product. Like, see, this is the kind of stuff I was buying back then. I bought that, Sheena reprint, and I would buy reprints of old stuff because comics were starting to get regular comics were starting to disappoint me. Yeah, there's not much I can show you in these, can I show these? Nope. Maybe. Nah. Oh, this is another one. Skip Williamson's comics and stories featuring Snappy Sammy Smoot. Oop, I keep forgetting. They're going to surprise you with little bits here and there that are shocking. But there's always a lot of EC influence on these underground comics because the hippies, if you're in your early 20s and the late 60s and you were a little kid when the Comics Code came in and all of the comics that you loved were suddenly disappeared, and so and then rock and roll came along right about the same time that the comics were squashed. It's like they were playing whack-a-mole. We'll get the comics, and then the kids won't be juvenile delinquents anymore. And they whacked that mole, and then the rock and roll popped up almost to the day or the Comics Code came in, rock and roll started. I just saw something that might be interesting to show you. What was that? Oh. This is an underground comic, The Spirit. Now, the stories inside are reprints of the 1940s Spirit comics. That this new cover, done by Will Eisner, was made to look a little more risque to sell it to, the underground audience. I think there were 2 of those, and that was done before Warren started doing The Spirit. I didn't get the other one. Oh, man, I keep seeing cool things, but I can't show them to you. Okay. Yeah. Reprints of Torchy. It's the only way I'm going to ever be able to afford the Torchy comics. Of course, there was always this. This was done to Twisted Tales from Pacific Comics. It was done to bring back the EC feel, and it did great. And then Alien Worlds brought back the EC science fiction. At least those were good books. Okay. Here's Zap Comics number 0. This is the big one. Zap Comics number 1. This is the one that started everything in the underground. I got all the Zaps, but some of them are later printings, obviously. Okay, so I got to put some books back into here. I'm trying to remember how I had these filed. These are Basil Wolverton books, Intense. This is reprints of Basil Wolverton's stories from the Golden Age of Comics, which I now call it I started calling it the Roosevelt Age of Comics. And the Truman Age of Comics. They're reprinted in black and white. This was something that was done in the 90s, or was it 80s? There was lots of reprints of this classic stuff. 94, yeah. Well, some people were buying the first appearance of Deadpool. I was buying this, which to me is far, far better. Basil Wolverton. Supersonic Sammy. And of course, he was Basil Wolverton, a huge influence on the underground comic artist. I'm not sure why I have these Basil Wolverton books in the underground, except they just kind of seem like they belong there. There's nothing offensive about them, but I'm going to put them under B for Basil and keep all my Basil Wolverton books together. Ooh, this looks good. Barbarians and Beauties. This is more reprints. Art by Joe Orlando and Wally Wood. A lot of fun stuff. Barbarians. Well, yeah, the Super Bowl. I don't watch. I've never been a sports person, man. I just never have been. I guess when the football games were on when I was a kid, there were monster movies on the other channel, or I just wanted to go riding my bike. So I don't really care about the Super Bowl. Sometimes I watch the Super Bowl to see the commercials, but I don't even know if I care about that. There's supposed to be a Deadpool 3 trailer during the Super Bowl. That's where they're going to premiere the trailer, and there's rumors that they're going to show Cyclops and the other X-Men, and they're going to look more comic book accurate. Has Disney Marvel learned their lesson? I doubt it. Are they giving autonomy to the people making Deadpool 3 to actually make an R-rated movie that feels like these other two Deadpool movies? I mean, they've got Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine. Will he wear that traditional Wolverine suit through the whole movie or just one fight scene? We don't know. Oh boy. There's a lot of rumors that, it's going to be the Taylor Swift Super Bowl, and then Taylor Swift's going to pop up in that trailer for as the Dazzler, who originally appeared as the Disco Dazzler in the X-Men comics. So people are these idiots that speculate. They're buying up all the Dazzler comics because they think all these Taylor Swift, I think they call them Swifties, the people that worship Taylor Swift. That if she shows up as the Dazzler in a movie, then these comics are just going to be gold that before were in 50-cent bins. People are buying them, trying to. That's what I'm gathering. More Basil Wolverton. So, an old friend of mine that I've known since 1984, I found out from another old friend of mine that I've known just about the same amount of time. Called the other day to let me know that this old friend of mine had a subdermal hematoma, which is like, I guess, bleeding on the brain, and he was in the hospital. So my wife and I said a prayer for him, and I lost touch with this friend, but anyway, I hear he's getting a little better, and that's good. I just don't. So I'm wishing, you don't know who this person is, but if you would like to say a prayer for him as well, it's not going to hurt, Because he was a great friend there in the 80s, and pretty much in the 80s and into the 90s. These are, I just love Gilbert Shelton's Wonder Warthog. It just, Gilbert Shelton, same guy that did Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. They made an animated Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. I don't hear anyone talk about it. I saw one episode, and it's just like, I don't know. Some of the voices, I didn't like the voices they chose for the characters, but I think Fat Freddy's cat had a voice that I didn't like, as I recall. But boy, if they had just done a TV show of Wonder Warthog, that would have been great. So I guess this goes under W. It's WUV. Now I'm starting to get a headache too, man. Okay. Wonder Warhog would go before XYZ Comics. Oh, this is probably what I was showing on the Halloween show. These Skull comics. Skull was definitely influenced by EC. You can see the 1960s vintage by the paper. This is from Ripoff Press. 1970. This is probably an original printing from the San Francisco Comic Book Company. Some of these have adaptations of H.P. Lovecraft stories, but they're just insane. This is Skull Comics #1, and they just kind of shamelessly put the EC logo on the comic. You know, it's like these are just completely outlaw comics. I mean, rules didn't really apply to them. So when they, wound up getting a lawsuit from Disney, as in the case of the Mickey Mouse and the Air Pirates. Okay, I guess I could show that there's Richard Corbin's story. It's really good stuff. This is I think these are both original pressings, 1970, and okay, these aren't in order. Okay, I don't have 3 and 4, so I need 5. Boy, I can't show the back cover on that one for sure. Here's 6. More great Richard Corbin story. There's the horror host that. Oh. Okay, 6. Okay, these would go right in front of Snappy Sammy Smoot. Oh, there's more Skull. Here's Weird Trips. This is a great William Stout illustration. I just was watching William Stout about an hour ago. There was a documentary on YouTube about King Kong, and William Stout was on there talking about that. Look how he's got heads, but look, there's the old witch from EC in the back. Edward Gein. I thought it was pronounced Gein back in the 80s, but then I discovered it was Gein. The Bizarre Truth Behind the Man Who Inspired Psycho and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Ed Gein. Although technically, yeah, that is true, in that both Norman Bates and the family in Texas Chainsaw Massacre had furniture and pots and stuff made out of bones, and both had the mother who had passed away preserved, and sitting there at the table with them and stuff. That's all from Ed Gein. But a lot of the personality of Norman Bates, when that original book was written, actually was based on Calvin Beck, the editor-publisher of Castle of Frankenstein magazine, which is one of the great magazines. Great monster magazines, which is apparently, what do you mean apparently? Not, definitely been brought back, and they're now about to do the 4th issue of the new Castle of Frankenstein. But it was a great magazine in the 60s and into the 70s. Okay, here are the Missing Skull magazines. Here's #4, which is a Lovecraft issue. Get the EC logos there. So this reminds me of Sven Gulli somehow. Boy, I'm starving now. Here's number 3. So I guess I aren't missing issues. I'm not missing issues. Well, I hope you didn't see the back cover of number. I gotta be careful with these things. These things are like handling a loaded gun, you know. Images that are not nice. Let's see. How that generation, that 60s generation that's now so politically correct and everything, how they were entertained by this shocking material of R. Crumb and everybody back then. I don't know. I guess it's all part of the communist revolution, right? Okay, I'm going to put this over here in the closet. One less thing in the way. There's something about having a package coming to you in the mail and being able to track it. It evokes being a little kid. It's kind of like Christmas, waiting for Santa Claus to come. I almost feel like I always need to have something coming to me in the mail because it provides, is it called endorphins? It's like, I don't know what the word is, but it just makes you happy knowing something's coming. And then, anyway, so I've got a package my wife sent, coming to me from Gotham City Comics. Oh, in Gotham City Comics, you should look at Horror Mike's channel. He did a 2-hour live stream Friday night. He does his normal Friday night show, and he, Kevin, the owner of Gotham City Comics, took him around every inch and cranny of his store. I saw things I'd never seen before in the store, and I think, but anyway, it's just, he comes on this show all the time, and it was neat to see that Friday. I haven't watched, I think I've seen all of it now. I was watching it, then we had to go out to eat on Friday night. Then my phone died, and then I got it. So I think the next morning I watched the rest of but I don't think I saw the last. He does these recommendations of movies on Tubi TV. I don't think I saw that part. Okay. Dang, man. There was I wrote down a book for my wife to ask about in my hold pile, and I don't think I gave enough information. It was one of the later DC Showcase comics of Nightmaster, and apparently Bernie Wrightson art. I think I don't know what issue. There's 3 issues of it. It's the character I never really was aware of, but I got to get the other 2 issues to know the storyline. Do you guys know anything about that character in the later, very late issues of Showcase before they canceled it? Okay. What else Oh. Disney comics need to go into the closet as well. Well, we're at an hour and 11 minutes. Usually the show ends about now because I only have a limited memory on my phone. So, see you later, guys. Take care. So I usually say goodbye about now, and then anything that happens from here on is just bonus. But at some point, I'll be in the middle of a sentence and it'll just cut. That's how almost every episode ends of this show, since I have a limited memory on my phone. So there's a bunch of things that happened that I wanted to cover, like it was Exene Cervenka's birthday, and I kept seeing things that I should talk about, and I wanted to do the Buddy Holly tribute yesterday, but now that's a day late. What else? I don't know. It doesn't matter, does it? Who cares? I think she ordered some Disney books for me from Gotham City Comics. So who knows what I'll be getting. There's some stuff. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? There's one I have to put in here. That's not the price I paid. It was just on the bag that it was put into. Although, I don't know. I think this is a issue that's sought after. See how in that parody I showed you of the Disney comic, it said hell instead of dull. Okay. Man, this doesn't fit in this box either. I need to put that somewhere else. I like this. Positive Attitudes Incorporated Library. So apparently, what is that? To me, I think that's a school where they send juvenile delinquents. You get expelled from school too much. You're going to the Positive Attitudes Academy. And this was the book in the library. And someone probably